and thanks for joining us from our studios in Israel. I'm Aaron Porras, here with ILTV's Morning Briefing. Japan's foreign minister has just met with Prime Minister Netanyahu here in Israel, and apparently he's just made an intriguing offer by inviting both Netanyahu and Palestinian leader Mahmoud Abbas to Tokyo for peace talks. Israeli officers have already responded, saying they'll happily attend on the condition that the United States also be invited to the table. The United States has historically played a key role as mediator in such peace talks between Israel and the Palestinians. But in the wake of President Trump's decision to formally recognize Jerusalem as Israel's capital, many countries no longer see the United States as any kind of impartial negotiator in the conflict, especially the Palestinians, who've said that they will not accept the United States in that position any longer. Many believe Japan and China may fill the void left by the United States in brokering Middle East peace, but with Israel insisting on U.S. involvement, it's unclear whether or not these talks will actually move forward. French children's magazine Youpi is now pulling its January issue from the stands in France and in Belgium after catching a text saying Israel isn't a, quote, real country. The full excerpt reads, quote, "There are 197 countries, like France, Algeria, or Germany. There are a few more, but not all countries in the world agree that they are real countries. For example, the State of Israel or North Korea," end quote. The problem in the magazine, aimed at kids aged 5 to 8, was raised by many groups via social media, including French Jewish organization CRIF and Israeli ambassador to France Eliza bin Nun, who wrote that she was, quote, "shocked by this lie taught to children," and that, quote, "such rhetoric can only encourage anti-Zionism inseparable from anti-Semitism," end quote. The magazine's editor, Bertrand Fichou, says that they were not trying to challenge Israel's legitimacy, and that Youpi pulled the issue as soon as the mistake was brought to their attention. Regardless, Fichou says he apologizes for the incident and that he will blame himself for it all his life. Drawing additional ire from state officials, United States Ambassador to Israel David Friedman made a formal request recently that the State Department stop using the word occupation when describing Israel's presence in the West Bank. Friedman allegedly argued that the settlements in the West Bank not only are a part of Israel, but that all the Israeli-controlled areas only make up under 2% of the West Bank. These comments and others Friedman has made since he took up his post as ambassador break with decades of United States policy, and even often with President Trump. For example, there has yet been no indication that the White House has changed its policy on settlements and the occupation. Further, the State Department has already refused Friedman's request as well. Well, here's a story that won't shock anyone living here in the Holy Land. An annual report has just declared that Israel is one of the most expensive countries to live in among the world's developed nations. Israel's cost of living is so high, it's actually a whopping 23% higher than the worldwide average. That's a more expensive cost of living than rich Western countries like the United States, Luxembourg, France, and Germany. Skyrocketing real estate costs play a major role in this statistic. And although Israel has slowly raised wages over the last year, many jobs are still dramatically underpaid, which could impact slower economic growth and overall spending in the long run. Right now, Switzerland, Iceland, Norway, Denmark, Australia, and New Zealand still rank as more expensive than Israel, but experts say that the cost of living in Israel won't be dropping anytime soon, unless the government steps in to fix employment wages, rent, and real estate prices. Transportation Minister Israel Katz has now announced that as an additional thank you to the White House for recognizing Jerusalem as Israel's capital, the last station by the Western Wall in Jerusalem on the new rail line between Tel Aviv and Jerusalem will be named after United States President Donald J. Trump. Minister Katz said he decided on the name in honor of President Trump's, quote, "historic and brave decision to recognize Jerusalem," and it is fitting. Last year in May, President Trump also became the first sitting United States president to visit the Western Wall Plaza as part of a larger Middle East tour. As for the train line itself, construction on it began in 2001, but it's hit a series of setbacks, typically over issues of working on the Sabbath. That being said, the high-speed rail line that will run in conjunction with the older, slower train is set to open sometime in 2018, Trump Station included. That's all for now. I'm Aaron Porras, and see you later with our main daily broadcast from Israel at 2 p.m. Eastern Time.